Hey everybody, I am LucidFaith, and today we'll be talking about the Astrologian class, specifically an intro to it, talking about the basic mechanics and skills between level 30 and 50. So if you want a more advanced guide on level 80 content, check out the description below. There'll be a link to the Balance Discord. That's where you'll find those guides. But let's jump in. Y'all, I just want to take a quick second and say thank you for hitting 1,000 subscribers. To show my gratitude, I'm going to do a giveaway. Details are in the description below, so check it out if you're interested, but get back to the video. Let's dive into your DPS tools. First off, you have Malefic. This is going to be your single target damage spell. Costs 400 MP, has a potency of 150. Pretty straightforward. Next up is your Combust skill. This is going to be your damage over time, also known as a dot skill. So what's cool about this one though is that it's instant cast, which means you can actually use it while you're moving. So when your tank is pulling a lot of monsters and you're just running behind them trying to catch up, drop your dot onto some of these monsters to start taking their health down to make things a bit better. Then at level 45, you get your AoE called Gravity. This means between levels 30, where you start, and 44, you don't have an AoE. Kinda sucks. But at 45, you get one, and you want to use this whenever there are 3 or more monsters that you're fighting at a time. Once you drop down to 2, start using your single target. Let's jump into your healing skills. First up is Benefict. This is a single target heal that costs 400 MP and has a cure potency of 400. Cool part, it has a 15% chance that your next Benefic to cast will restore critical HP. So what does that mean? Well, in this game, heals can crit doing more healing. Awesome. Benefic 2 is just a larger single target heal, costs 700 MP and has a cure potency of 700. So useful when you want to restore a lot of HP quickly. Next up is your area of effect heal known as Helios. So it has a MP cost of 700 and a cure potency of 330. So if you need to heal up multiple party members at one time, this is the way to go. Now, the last of your basic heals is a Signal Dignity. This is a cool one. It is an instant cast and has a recast timer of 40 seconds, which means it's an off global cooldown skill. Now, its base heal has a potency of 400, but goes up to 1100 as your target HP goes down. What this means is when your target has less HP, it heals more. So wait until your target is almost dead, then pop this, and it gives them a huge heal and you can keep on going. It's kind of amazing. Use it to save your tank. An oddball healing / buff skill is called Sinistry. The way you're going to use this is during boss fights. You're going to put this Sinistry buff on your tank, and for the next 20 seconds, whenever you use a single target heal on someone else, your tank also gets 40% of that healing. It's pretty niche. I don't feel like this is going to be a very useful skill, but know it's in your toolbox. Let's talk about buffs. So first up, we have Lightspeed. Lightspeed is an amazing skill that you can cast every 2 minutes, and it's an instant cast. Now what it does is it reduces the cast times of your spells by 2.5 seconds, which is going to be a majority of your skills. So basically everything becomes instant cast, and you're able to push out large healing numbers and large DPS numbers for about 15 seconds. When you're starting out, save this as your panic button, but then as you slowly get more used to the class, you can start just having this as a 15-second window that pops up every 2 minutes to do amazing things. The next buff I want to talk about is a simple one. It's called Lucid Dreaming. You can cast it every minute, and for 21 seconds, you get MP back. I recommend starting using this whenever it's off cooldown, once you hit about 8,000 MP remaining. The next subject I want to cover are the 2 stances you get as a Astrologian. First one you get at level 30. This is your diurnal sect. We're going to call this your regen stance. The other one you get is at level 50. This is your nocturnal sect. We're going to call this your shield stance. These stances you get affect 2 skills in particular. First one is Aspected Benefit. The second one is Aspected Helios. These two skills are separate from the previous Benefit and Helios we mentioned. Now, these skills can only be used when you're in a stance, but they both have a base effect. Now, the base effect of the Aspected Benefit is that it's an instant cast 200 Cure Potency Heal, and then your Aspected Helios is a 2-second cast 200 Cure Potency AoE heal. When you're in the Regen stance, a Regen effect gets applied to both of these skills as an additional effect. When you're in the Nocturnal sect or the Shield stance, both of these skills get an additional effect of adding a shield to your targets. So, what stance should you use? Well, really it comes down to your personal preference. Whenever you're in a party by yourself, choose what you want. I've searched the web and asked different communities which is better, and the answer is neither. It's whatever you're more comfortable with. Now, the one caveat to that is when you're in 8-man groups with another healer. In those cases, you need to keep one thing in mind. Shields don't stack, Regens do. So, if you're with a Scholar, be in your Regen stance, and if you're with another Astrologian, make sure that both of you are not in the Shield stance, and then you're good to go. Now let's talk about the card mechanic. First up, you have an ability called Draw. What Draw does is it draws a card from your deck and puts it in your job gauge. In addition, you gain 800 MP. Now, these cards can be confusing. There's only two things you need to worry about. First up is the borders. The border of the card is either going to be a blue with a cross, or it's going to be a pink border with a circle. Blue with a cross is for melee characters for a buff for their DPS. The pink one is going to be for a buff for ranged characters. Now, once you have one of your cards, you're going to use your play skill to use that buff on that character. So cool. Blue for melee, pink for ranged. Remember that. The second thing that you're going to want to worry about with your cards is a little icon at the top of your card. It's called a seal. There are 3 possible seals. There is either the crescent moon, the full blue moon, or the red sun. Now, what you want to do is gather all 3 of these seals. So how do you do that? Well, every time you play a card, one of that seal that you just played moves into your job gauge and sits there. Then when you play another one, they move to the left. So your goal is to get all 3 different seals up there at the same time. Now, if you happen to mess that up and have 2 of the same, they go in priority of first in, first out. So as the seals go in, if you have a full job gauge of 3 seals, the leftmost seal will get pushed out and the new one will come in from the right. Now you're going to be juggling your cards a good bit, trying to get the proper seals, and you have 2 skills that can help you do that. First up is Undraw. If you draw a card and you don't like it, you can undraw it. Then you just have to wait for your next draw, but that's something. A better option is a skill known as Redraw, which has 3 charges. You get another charge every 30 seconds, and like its name, means you just get to draw again immediately, putting another card in the gauge. Note, you don't get that additional effect of the MP regen, but you get a new card, which is great, and you can use that to kind of fish for the seal you want. We've been talking a lot about getting 3 different seals, but we haven't explained why you'd want to do that yet. And the reason is for a skill called Divination. Now, Divination works when you have 3 seals total. Then you can use it. And what it does is it is a party-wide damage buff that lasts 15 seconds. Now, if you have 3 of the same seal, so you have only 1 seal type, you get a 4% buff to your party. If you have 2 different seals, you get a 5% buff. And if you have all 3 seals, you get a 6% buff to your entire party for 15 seconds. It's a low number, but it has a huge impact. Now, let's say you want to play a card, but you do not want to keep the seal. Well, there's a skill for that. It's called Minor Arcana. Now what this does is it transforms your cards into either the Lord of Crowns or Lady of Crowns. You don't need to be worried about which card gets transformed into what, because all you need to remember is the earlier blue border for melee, pink border for range. Remember that, and whenever you want to play one of your DPS buffs and not keep the seal, just use Minor Arcana instead of your play skill. Minor Arcana is basically a modified play, and so there, you'd be good to go. That was my beginner's guide to Astrologian. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any questions or things confused you, because that was a lot, leave a comment down below or come hit me up in other places, Discord or on Twitch. I do stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting around 6 o'clock Central. But y'all, always remember that you matter. I'll see you in the next one.